A good Sunday. It's April the 13th. This is Gavin Batista, your host at the Prosperity Channel. It's been a very tough week because, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is speculating in the U.S. market. Finally, I can tell you we are now devoted strictly for U.S. affairs, but don't get me wrong, there are so many people, especially in the Philippines, that have wanted to take a look at what the Prosperity Channel is doing, because just recently a criminal by the name of Wendell Orolion R. Managat again is gallivanting around here in, of all places, Oklahoma. Because I saw that guy way back when I was with RFM, and I think it's very clear that this guy, Wendell Managat, has completely tarnished the good name of the Concepcion family. But I don't want to anymore deal with these scalawags, because they really interrupt, confuse so many Americans right now. So let me get right into it. And how do we solve? The subject matter of today is how do we solve the 36 trillion, more or less, debt of the United States of America. And the answers are very difficult. Very, very difficult. The great Elon Musk is right now moving towards increasing efficiencies by reducing costs, by reducing the very untalented, or should I say unprofessional, group of individuals that have destroyed certain departments of the United States of America. And I don't want to expound on that because it's already all over the newspapers. And it's very clear that Elon Musk, the great Elon Musk, is absolutely right, but not 100%. What am I trying to say? Economics is a very socially scientific matter. What does that mean? It means that it is not an absolute science. So therefore, there are certain employees in the United States of America right now I think should be simply retrained, and that should be shouldered by the U.S. government on the basis that these employees will become the new assets of the private economy. Or they could start their own businesses that will make them more prosperous versus on what they are doing right now with the U.S. government. So let me get right into the meat. How do we solve the 36 trillion debt? In my estimates, this is current, we can, just by group, okay, at Midwestern Business Advisors LLC, will be able to create a bandwagon effect headed by my company to reduce the budget by 10 trillion US dollars. How do we do it? Number one would be manufacturing. In the manufacturing sector, if you'll take a look at the products that you buy in the United States, except for cars, most of them, and agricultural products, most of them are manufactured outside the United States. Take the case of the Chinese. They're saying, oh no, America cannot become a manufacturing hub because Americans would rather buy it from low-cost countries. This is an absolutely false statement. I lived in the United States since 1989. Americans, if given the right support by the U.S. government under the leadership of President Donald Trump can make the manufacturing, can put up the manufacturing plants in America. Whatever you buy in Walmart can be done in the United States. Whatever you buy in department stores, in other retailers, other retail box type stores like hardware stores, pharmacies, and the list goes on, can all be made 100% can be made here, and I will make sure that I will spearhead that. Unfortunately, I have to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, because we are getting out from paid news to real news, the accurate news about manufacturing is this. There are certain products that we are better off to be made in other parts of the world, and that is quite a list. And I don't want to take up much time on that. You can simply give me a call at 405-503-8511, or you can hit me with an email at superdeals1494@gmail.com. Or you can hit me an email with my other email address at midwestern91@gmail.com. Second one is banking. America's banks must expand overseas. The key to the $10 trillion erasing of the deficit from the 36-37 would be banking, except for Bank of America. I am calling on banks in America to do joint ventures with Midwestern Business Advisors, LLC. Banks are still the #1 indicator of growth. It is going to become the #1 support team of entrepreneurs, U.S. entrepreneurs, to put up the manufacturing plants here in the U.S., but you have to be very wise about this. We can do joint ventures because it's easier and more profitable for both parties and more realistic. The next would be U.S. financial systems, like the stock market. We can do pre-IPOs that is based on the legal system outside the United States. And that is where the big growth lies. And before you know it, we will be chopping the 10 trillion debt in less than 6 years. My prediction is that easily in about 10 to 15 years, we're looking at more than $10 trillion erased from the U.S. deficit. Again, how does that matter? How do we go about that? Because it's very clear. That to fast track this very ambitious plan, joint ventures, and I would say collaborations, that's the key word. Collaborations will be all over the world, with Midwestern Business Advisors LLC acting as a catalyst. Because I'm telling you right now, if you were to tie up with a Ben Del Rosario group here in the United States, you're dead. You're a goner. I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm being very honest with you guys. You just don't tie up with Charlie, or else as usual you will end up in a legal court battle. And who needs that? Not me, not you. Okay? So we already have a list of these bad scalawags that will make sure that your money is completely safeguarded by legal protections. And that's why the 10 to 15 trillion in the next 6, 10, 15, 20 years or less will be gone, because we want to erase the $36 trillion debt as soon as possible. Next. Would be U.S. technology. U.S. technology continues to be focused only on a few companies like Apple, Microsoft, and the rest. We can build our own mini companies, ladies and gentlemen, by promoting American, or should I say U.S. technology, in just like that. Because I have met so many young black, white, Hispanic Americans who are simply excellent in technology. All you need is a bridge, and I will make sure that I will be your honest, reliable bridge, and not the people like the Ben Del Rosario family. Because I was just talking to my wife, Nancy Uy Bautista. I asked her point blank, are you connected with this crooked Ben Del Rosario family? And I am led to believe that they are trying to extort information from her. And that's why I'd like to be very honest with you guys. Do not deal with these people. I can assure you your money is safe with me. Because there is no person out there in the world, because there was an Iranian who was accusing me of certain things, which, by the way, which is all false. There is no person out there in the world that can say that I abused or confused him or her, leading to a loss of money. None. Zero. Next, we have the best AI, artificial intelligence economy right now in the United States. Robotics is happening right now. In fact, US-American artificial intelligence is going to become the #1 economy of the United States of America. If you want big money, this is it. AI, made in America. How do we do it? We tie up, we set up an office here, we set up offices all over the world, making sure America is going to become our headquarters. Again, my phone number, my US cell phone number, 405-503-8511. Let's cut the chase. And I'm on Viber. Use that number again, and let's make a very prosperous deal at 405-503-8511. And my email address, superdeals1494@gmail.com. And my other email is midwestern91@gmail.com. Because there was a guy in California that just approached me and said, Gavin, I made a lot of deals, but I want to make a deal with you because the deals were not at all profitable. Not to mention long term. In America, as you know, it's more or less always short term, especially if you deal with the Rosario group. My deals are always long term, 5-year plan and continuous. Next, sports and entertainment. America, in my opinion, America's #1 industry would be sports and entertainment. Why? Because we have the best athletes, we have the best entertainers, and above all, they are all world class. Again, if you want to tie up with me, call me up immediately, right at this moment. The American sports, by the way, is not only NBA, it's not only baseball, it's not only American football, but there are so many other sports activities that can be developed in other parts of the world. And the #1 most developed sport would be, a new sport would be volleyball. I'd like, I'm a swimmer. I'd like to initiate something big about swimming, to make it really not only competitive, but very entertaining, because in my opinion, the reason why I'm very physically fit, despite my weight, by the way, I'm working on that quickly. I just changed doctors again, is, or should I say nutritionists, not doctors, nutritionists, is that swimming makes you not only physically fit, but mentally fit, and it will not age your body or destroy or depreciate your bones much faster versus other sports. So I bet you right now, ladies and gentlemen, swimming is going to become one of the biggest sports in the world. In fact, I have a big bet on swimming, because we are developing new pools, not only heated, but the water is simply unbelievably healthy. After all, our bodies, our systems are composed of basically hydrogen and oxygen. Water controls our physical and mental faculties. And if you will see in any part of the world, a lot of people do not have good swimming pools. I always believe in what I call as water therapy. And there is not, you should end your day always at the pool, because it will revive your systems and reduce conditions of an impending heart attack or stroke or TIA, which, according to medical books and researchers, is still the #1 cause of death in America. Next would be medical. I know a lot of people are questioning some of our medical systems in America, because the #1 leader of medical hospitals that have breakthroughs would be, in Asia, would be Singapore, and definitely Tokyo, Japan. And in Europe, there are so many good hospitals in Europe that, in fact, most Americans frequent, especially the Scandinavian countries. But we Americans can truly come out with a new medical tourism campaign. And again, as I said, do a lot of joint ventures in other parts of the world in order to make a major contribution on this $10 trillion debt reduction through the initiatives, as I said, of my company, Midwestern Business Advisors, LLC, with 9 divisions, and one of them, as you very well know by now, is the medical hotel division. The medical hotels will be at the forefront of this $10 trillion reduction of our 36 trillion deficit. The next would be military, and I think this military, the military arsenal supplies aircraft, and the list goes on, is already spearheading, is already actually, I think, the number one industry in America today is military hardware. I'm sorry, the number one most developed right now industry in America would be the military. And my kudos to our friends at Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and other military suppliers. Because without them, World War III will happen overnight. But because of this military, US military producers, we are able to deter war or completely have the possibility, zero possibility, of no more World War III. In fact, I am so impressed with the management, executive management of Lockheed Martin, because of their ability to come out with so much innovation in military hardware. Agriculture would be next. I know I was the guy that first spearheaded way back 1987 of soya bean meal products. But I was sideswiped in the Philippines, that's why I'm here in the United States of America, of introducing US 48% protein content of soya bean products. What happened? We were outpriced by the Indians, by the Chinese, by the Brazilians. So much growth on US agricultural products. And the reason being is because they don't know. Most of the agricultural products are simply relied on through the US Department of Agriculture, which in my opinion is so limited and has not been as effective as it should be. The next would be aquaculture. You know, the United States is so blessed with so many, no, in other words, it's so near the Pacific Ocean, and that is one area that I think is so untapped. Aquaculture is still the best protein for the body. Without protein, the body will die in a very short amount of time. And I have a long, long list of other products that we can export big time all over the world. And I'd like to put that in the others heading. But we do not have much time left, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to end this particular program that if you are an investor out there or who want to collaborate here in the United States and you are sick and tired of being fooled by people like the Benda Rosario family, you can give me a call, because I can guarantee you one thing. I am the #1 most trusted Asian American new investor today in America. And I promise you one thing. We are going to give you not only the best results possible, but we will provide you the new American red carpet treatment. I repeat, it's possible to do collaborations here in America. It's possible to do it immediately and with your trust, your 100% trust, and your 1000% confidence in the United States economy because of the strong leadership of President Donald Trump. And with entrepreneurs such as Midwestern Business Advisors LLC with 9 divisions, your future is assured. Your prosperity is guaranteed. Like so many other companies that I made super wealthy. Again, my number is 405-503-8511. And I am on Viber, excuse me for that. I'm on Viber at 405-503-8511, and you can hit me an email at superdeals1494@gmail.com, or you can hit me with another email, because sometimes they, would you believe, hack it. But my computer guys here are very, very professional. Thanks to Best Buy, I'm giving them free airtime. Best Buy completely takes out my virus every single day. My other email, because I want to be frank with you and honest, okay? My other email address would be midwestern91@gmail.com. Thank you. Good night. And we at the Prosperity Channel would say, in prosperity, you can find that out by simply listening and calling us up with immediate answers in your cell phone, in your email, in less than 24 hours. If you are abroad, in less than 72 hours, guaranteed. And there was one guy who said, you know, you cannot guarantee in America. What do you mean? You mean to say I'm going to say things here that I cannot guarantee? I said, I'm not related with these professional liars, journalist liars. If I don't guarantee what I say, I don't say it. I repeat, if I don't guarantee what I say to you, business person, female, male, who want to be rich, I don't say it on the air. Okay? Again, thank you for watching and listening. Gavin Batista, your host at the Prosperity Channel at 405-503-8511, or you can hit me with an email at superdeals, that's with a plural S, 1494@gmail.com, or you can hit me an email at midwestern91@gmail.com. Good night.